All right. Good afternoon and welcome to CNIR, Crypto News and Investigating Reports. We're glad that you're able to join us today. I want to give a shout out to those that are bringing us cryptocurrency information through this medium of YouTube, through Facebook, and on Twitter. I just want to give a shout out to those that are doing this. A lot of us are doing it because we feel how important this issue is. We're trying to keep the public informed of this very important revolutionizing issue. This issue is going to have an enormous change on our lives of our children, grandchildren, all the way down. This is Crypto News and Investigating Reports. This issue, this historical time in our world, it's a very life-changing, revolutionary technology, man. It's very exciting. I'm excited about it. I'm glad to be following it. And I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys out there that are doing the same thing, that are just getting this information out there to the public. I want to stay true to it, try to report what I know, and try to make sure that I can be a reliable source of giving you truthful information. A lot of those articles that we pull up, I've having to notice that the more you investigate these articles of this cryptocurrency thing, a lot of times you got to even watch some of these articles that we're pulling up. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right. The first thing I want to bring you today, once again, thank you for watching. But the first thing, let's go to the market. The market looks like we're at about $272 billion. Bitcoin's at about 113 billion. Ethereum is at 48 billion. And guess what? XRP is up from yesterday. It's at 19 billion. So it made $1 billion from yesterday. That's a lot of money, folks, $1 billion. And it's got $19 billion. All right. Ripple XRP is a very awesome cryptocurrency. I would encourage you, if you don't have any XRP, to go get you some. And because this is going to be one of those cryptocurrencies that you're just going to have to know about, and you're going to just have to have. Shout out to Brad Garlinghouse, to Chris Larson. Shout out to David Schwartz. You guys are building an awesome company over there, and keep on doing what you're doing. It's fascinating. It's awesome, and we really appreciate it. The next thing I want to go to is this article right here, National Cryptocurrencies. You all know that if you've been following any of the videos that I've been putting up, there's something that I'm watching. I'm watching the International Monetary Fund. I'm watching the World Bank / Central Bank, and I'm watching the Federal Reserve. It is my belief that these three entities need to come together to form an alliance. They need to work together in order for Ripple XRP to take its global position as the go-to cryptocurrency for banking. And that's what I'm all about here, is that the IMF, the World Bank / Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve all work together and to select Ripple XRP to be able to be that go-to cryptocurrency for banking. So what we got here is the national cryptocurrencies. When will we see them? It was rumored, and actually it was even tried, that the central bank would make its own cryptocurrency. And that's what this article is about, national cryptocurrencies, when we see them. And it says over the last year, I'm starting here, over the last year, there has been talk for a number of nations regarding investigations into national cryptocurrencies issued by the nation's central bank. Venezuela issued, I think it's pronounced Petro, which with much fanfare. However, it failed too, and it didn't do anything. It hasn't fared too well, and largely fell off the radar soon after they came out with it. This guy, Thomas Moser, who sits on the director of the board at the Swiss National Bank, has stated he believes the interest for central banks across the world is in issuing national cryptocurrencies has fallen for the time being. So he's just saying for the right now, there's not a lot of interest in the national banks, central bank or World Bank, making their own cryptocurrency. All right. So this just came out a couple of days ago. I don't want to read the whole article because it takes up a lot of our time, but it's basically saying that it's probably more feasible for them to select a cryptocurrency that could do, number one, that's already functioning, that already has infrastructure, that already has a cryptocurrency, that already has a payment settlement um, portion of it that's working, and that right there, that description is of Ripple XRP, because Ripple with X Current, X Visa, X Rapid, X Spring, and God knows whatever else that they got coming out, that fits the bill for the World Bank and the IMF. So basically, that he's not saying Ripple, but he is saying that they need to work with with another cryptocurrency that's already there. Um, it says, secondly, well, I'll read here. It says, first, he mentioned the potential impact that many have on financial stability. And so if you're going to make a national cryptocurrency, it has a potential impact that may cause instability on the world banks and the IMF if you have a national cryptocurrency. So that's this first point that he makes. And then the second, he says that blockchain was still in its infancy and needs to be developed further to become truly viable for national governments to be able to issue a reliable national crypto. This is also fair. Blockchain technology is only about 10 years old. The internet was 10 in about 1999. How good was that? So he's basically saying that, you know, they need something more solid. They need a more evidence of how secure and how solid a cryptocurrency and how solid the blockchain really is. They need, basically he's saying they need more time. All right. And then thirdly, and significantly, he refers to the problem of early adoption. Someone needs to go first. Now, this is a very important part right here. Someone needs to go first. Technology inevitably has some clunks and flaws in it when it first gets out and when it first gets off the ground. And these need to be ironed out. Some brave soul needed to be in the Wright brothers' plane to check it out, that it would fly the first time. If it works, great, you're a hero. If not, you may have a mess on your hands. And so that's why I'm saying, you know, Ripple XRP just actually fits the bill because they're out there already. They're doing what needs to be done. And you can already see the effects of that, especially with SBI and Santander banks. And, you know, we already have a lot of good examples out there that are Ripple XRP. So looking for a national cryptocurrency, we're not going to see that for a while. My prediction is we won't see that for a long time because they already want something that's already proven and already working. And that most of us that are Ripple XRP followers, we already know that it can handle the bill. And then we move over to the IMF, which is International Monetary Fund. The chief says world must be even-handed in dealing with digital currencies at risk and innovations. And I'm not going to read this whole article, but it is Christine Lagarde, the International Monetary Fund chief. She has some interesting to say in this particular article about cryptocurrencies, and I'm just going to go right to the main point of this. She says, we need to remain alert and vigilant. We must act quickly to close the knowledge gaps and inhibit the effectiveness monitoring of crypto assets. Christine Lagarde, IMF. And then she says here, and I'm moving kind of fast, I know. Assets tied to cryptocurrencies don't pose an immediate danger to the global financial system because their footprint is still small and they have limited links to the rest of the financial system. Although they have the potential to magnify the risk and increase the transmission of economic shocks, according to the IMF preliminary asset. And then it kind of shows a chart here. And then it says, instead, they can enable fast and inexpensive financial transactions, and their underlying technology, the DLT, the distributed ledger technology, could improve the efficiency of financial markets and maintain secure storage of important records. All right. So basically, she is in favor of using cryptocurrencies because when you put these words there, DLT, the distributed ledger technology, we know that Chris Larsen is on the high-level advisory board of the IMF. And in my mind, what Chris Larsen is talking to the IMF about is the distributed ledger technology. The conversation, if I can just kind of tell you what I think the conversation would be like, it would be like Chris Larsen is sitting in the room with Christina LeGray and everybody else and going, okay, what's the problems? And as they present the problems to Chris Larsen, he says, yeah, we got X Rapid for that. No, we got X Current for that. We got for the infrastructure. So, we can use X Current for that. And then Chris Larsen would say, and for the cryptocurrency problem, we have X Rapid for that, for the Nostro Vostro problem, and for the something called the special drawing rights, which are assets, So for the liquidity problem, we have the cryptocurrency XRP, and then we have X Rapid. And then for the contracts, we have X Via, and to bring on more companies to work along and to with this, we have X Spring, and we can teach them the interledger protocol. So, I mean, I really believe that what Christine LeGray is working on, I think Chris Larsen is already, in my mind, Chris Larsen has probably already talked to them about it. Let me move on a little further. So we got the IMF, we got the World Bank, and I don't know, this is the Swiss National Bank. Enthusiasm has slowed for creating national cryptocurrencies. Here's another one of those. Let me just make sure it's not the same one. Yeah. Here's another one of those. Enthusiasm has slowed for creating national cryptocurrencies. The unknown risks are potentially large. And this article is saying pretty much the same thing, this Business Insider article that came out on June 23rd, 2018. It's pretty much saying the same thing. Central banks around the world have been looking at how they might introduce or use a national cryptocurrency. Thomas Moser, and he's an alternate member of the Swiss National Bank governing board, told Business Insiders that central banks have become skeptical of introducing national digital currencies after their initial interest. And it also says, he says bankers are wary of the new economic risk or knock-off effects introducing a national cryptocurrency that it might have. So they are actually skeptical about, making a national cryptocurrency. And in my opinion, they're probably going to select Ripple XRP because it's already something that's functional, that's working, and that has been proven to be able to handle the banking issues, right? I mean, Ripple XRP has been signing up. I think Brad Garlinghouse said a while back he was signing up a bank a week. And so if the central bank needs to understand that. And let me show this to you real quick. This is the prize right here, by the way, special drawing rights. I mean, if Ripple XRP becomes the cryptocurrency that the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank / central bank selects, that's going to be a historical thing. It's just going to be a phenomenal, gigantic thing that a cryptocurrency now takes over the special drawing rights. I'm not sure how all of that's going to work. I'm sure there's a lot more than what I'm giving to you right now, and I'll continue to investigate SDRs. But here's how it works. The IMF is going to have to work with central banks because central banks they lend money to commercial banks. Central banks lend money at the key lending rate, at a low lending rate, supposedly. We don't know. To the commercial banks, and the commercial banks lends the money to the customers. And with that being said, the IMF, the Federal Reserve, and the central bank, they're all going to have to work together for all this process, for this whole process to continue. Nevertheless, let's move on. So we talked about the IMF, we talked about the World Bank. Here's kind of what was the real issue, is understanding how Ripple XRP works. So Christine LeGray, she put together something called the High Level Advisory Group because, she needs to understand how all of this comes together. And the person that's explaining, in my mind, the person that's explaining this to them is Chris Larsen, the executive chairman of Ripple. he's having that conversation that I mentioned earlier. This is how you do it. This is what you need to do. This is what we've done. This is what Ripple XRP have done. This is how we've done it. This is what our results are. This is how, and so I really believe, man, that the stakeholders are listening to and they are watching Ripple XRP because Ripple XRP, Ripple.net, they are already working with banks. And so that's what the IMF is really about. They're about money. And that's what the World Bank and the Central Bank is all about. They are about money. And that's what Ripple XRP is. It's a suite of things that work with banks and helps them to be able to move money better. And so not to mention that Ripple XRP is handling that $27 trillion problem that SWIFT thought they were going to be able to handle with their 1973 technology. So Ripple XRP is really on top of it, man. I can see them really becoming the global currency. As a matter of fact, the chairman of a Japanese bank, I had the article up here. I'm not going to get to it, but one of the Japanese bank said that Ripple XRP could be the standard of global money. So you got even bank executives saying that Ripple XRP can be the standard for global currency. All right. And so I found this on the internet here. It's called XRP Chat. And this is a combination of kind of what I've been watching. I've always said that the World Bank, the IMF, and the Federal Reserve and central banks are going to have to come together, get on one page in order for Ripple XRP to take its global position in the world to become that go-to cryptocurrency for banking. You're going to need the IMF, you're going to need the World Bank, and you're going to need the Federal Reserve to come together as one in order for Ripple XRP to take its global position in the world and become that go-to cryptocurrency for banking around the world globally. All right. And so what we have here is we got the IMF and the World Bank, and they had a spring meeting in Washington, D.C. The International Monetary Fund will release their April 2018 World Economic Outlook on Tuesday, April 17th at 9 o'clock, blah, 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 blah. All right. So let me cut to the chase here. As a matter of fact, here's that name again, guys, Christine Lagarde. Okay, by Christine Lagarde, the IMF Managing Director. Okay, this is her, she was analyzing it, or her notes, summarizing what she thinks are actually the problems or the issues. I'm sorry if I'm going a little long today. I'm trying to rush because I know I try to make these videos as short as possible, but trying to keep up with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the global banks, World Bank, Central Bank, and the Federal Reserve, that takes a lot. And it's okay. It says, so the window of opportunity is open. Wow. Thank you, Christine. Ripple XRP could walk right through the window or fly right into the window, whatever way they want to get in. Yet there is new urgency because uncertainties have significantly increased. For trade tensions to rising financial and fiscal risks, to move uncertain geopolitics, whatever. All right. How can we sustain the current upswing in the face of these rising risks? And how can we foster long-term growth that benefits all? These are the issues that finance ministers and central bank governors will discuss at the next IMF and World Banking Spring meeting. All right. So anyway, this is what I want to bring to you. This is the pondering of these particular notes. I could call this breaking news. I don't know what to call it, but I think it's very mentally intriguing. And what it says is, it says, read the post comments below, the knowledge about the outcomes of this event. All right. It says, events which have a strong correlation to the things Ripple is working on. So basically it's saying what they were discussing at this meeting, it has a strong correlation to the things that Ripple XRP is working on. It says they will discuss a lot and the Internet of Value and the distributor ledger technology won't be the only subject that they will discuss, but it sure will be a part of what they're going to be discussing in Washington, D.C. And it also says, although Ripple is not mentioned on the website and there is no full agenda available to the public, it says several factors indicate that Ripple will silently attend the meeting. Wow, wow, wow. It says Chris Larson is on the tech advisory board of the IMF, which I've already showed you that. It says the World Bank has been discussing RippleNet a lot, and they need to because Ripple can handle the issue. And it says the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, also has a settlement in DC. And it says about 40 to 50 central banks will be attending the meeting. And so what do you expect to be discussed in the 2018 WB meeting, spring meeting? It says they will discuss opportunities and challenges in an age of disruption. I think it's a good follow-up moment on the Central Bank Summit from 2017. All right, so clearly you can see what I've been saying, that the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the Federal Reserve must come together and get on that one page so they can, and that's how they would be able to select Ripple.net to become a world cryptocurrency, and it would be the go-to currency for banking around the world. And so everything that I'm saying was kind of built on this article right here. It says why Ripple XRP fits the bill of what the IMF could recommend to global banks. And this came from Christine Lagrave. Okay. And so now this article, as I'm trying to drill down on it, because really this article can keep me going for a long time. It's a lot involved here. And less than 2 days ago, Ethereum World News did a report on the findings of the IMF's deputy director with respect to how global central banks should respond to the current threat of cryptocurrencies disrupting the business as usual trend in the banking industry. In the report by Dong, the deputy director of the Monetary and Capital Market Department, it was noted that for regular fiat to stay relevant, central banks need to tokenize their currencies to be in tune with the times. But is tokenization really necessary when we already have a coin with payment solutions on the blockchain already working? This coin is none other than Ripple XRP and its products of XVIA, XCurrent, XRapid, and RippleNet. So I'm going to cut off right there. I can keep going. I'm going to be drilling down on this subject as much as possible because there's a lot to this. There's a lot going on. All right. So until the next time, guys, continue to stay on top of it. A shout out to all of those that are making videos and keeping the public informed regarding this world-changing revolutionary technology and cryptocurrency, digital asset information. I give a shout out to all of you guys. If I'm missing something, please shoot me some notes. We're getting good comments and we're getting bad comments too, but thank you for the comments. We're getting criticism and critique. So nevertheless, please subscribe, and that's a big encouragement for me. Hey, wherever you are, have a good day, or wherever you are, have a good night. And thank you for watching.